I'm Alex Bowman. I just completed Code Louisville's front-end track, which consisted mainly of doing some treehouse videos to learn skills and applying them through a personal project. For my personal project, I made a website for a local recording studio in order to increase their web presence. Let's take a look at it.
This is my site. It uses select bootstrap stylings along with custom CSS and jQuery. Every element scales dynamically with the resolution of the viewport. You can find it hosted at goldsmith.alexb502.com or github.com/abowman02/goldsmith. Let's take a look at some of the content. The Photos page includes pictures of the studio space. When you click on a photo, JavaScript opens a modal that gives you a full screen view of the image. I've written a media query for this page so that on mobile and tablet devices, the images are represented in a neat continuous feed, like so. Similarly, the specifications and artist pages show two neat lists on larger screens, but will scale down to one column on tablet and mobile devices for ease of reading, like so. The audio page embeds audio files from the SoundCloud pages of artists who have recorded at the studio. The rates page is simply a bootstrap-style table. And finally, the contact page shows you the studio's owner. Both the owner's name as well as his picture are HTML links to his email address. Now let's look at the code. At the top is metadata that allows the page to react responsively. The style sheets are called in the head, while the script tag is placed at the end of the body for performance optimization. There is a div with the class navigation at the top of each page that I target with jQuery to insert the actual navbar HTML. Here's the navbar HTML. I use Bootstrap's button classes to style the links. Back to the page's HTML. Here's the content. The script tag is at the bottom. Below that is a footer element that contains contact and legal information. On the Photos page, I set up a class and ID for my modal window, which we'll look at in just a minute. The images themselves are in an unordered list. The specifications and artist pages are kept neat by classifying all of their text into just two columns via Bootstrap. This is easier to see on the artist page. I divide the list halfway through with another column div. The audio page contains embedded HTML music players. This HTML is automatically generated by SoundCloud, so I just had to place it into a container div and style that div. Here is the markup for the table on the rates page. The table is 4 rows, 3 columns in each row. I use these blank entries as placeholders so that the styling separating each row is symmetrical. And on the contact page, I have 2 links, one encapsulating the image and the other encapsulating the text. Moving on to the JavaScript file, this is the jQuery that calls the navigation bar at the top of each page. I target the class navigation, iterate over it once with the each function, use the attribute function to retrieve the div's title. In this case, the div's title is navbar.html, and use the replace with function to replace the navigation class with the HTML file navbar. For the photo page's lightbox, first I define the variables I will need to create a modal overlay that contains an image and a caption. I then append this overlay to the body object and append both the image and caption variables to that overlay. Next, upon clicking any link in the div to which I've given the gallery ID, I stop the link from directing you to another page. I then define a variable that stores the location of the clicked link. On the next line, I write the image's source attribute using the variable I just stored. I then store the image's alt text as the image caption to be displayed on the modal. Finally, I reveal the overlay div containing both the image and its caption. The last 2 lines make it so that, upon clicking a second time, the modal will disappear. Now for a quick look at the custom style sheet. I'm not going to include the Bootstrap style sheet since that is freely available. For this video, we're looking at a non-minified version, even though the site is using a minified version. Most of the blocks define margins, padding, and fonts for the main elements of each page. Next are the stylings for the navigation bar and containers. These mostly have minor changes I'm making to the Bootstrap classes that I've used. In the footer section, I do some basic styling, as well as add a media query that is only selected on pages with more than a screen's worth of content, so that the footer stays fixed to the bottom of the page. The final two sections style the Photos page, with the former styling the images as they are presented in the body, and the latter styling the images as they appear in the modal.
Thank you for viewing my project. Going forward with this project, I'm going to continue to optimize load times on the audio example screen, and I'm going to continue to incorporate any feedback I get from my client. For myself going forward, I'm going to continue with Code Louisville, where I will learn to make iOS apps using Objective-C. With everything that I've learned in the front-end track this summer, I hope to be able to obtain a job as a junior developer while continuing to strengthen my programming skills. Thank you for viewing my project, and again, I'm Alex Bowman.